kings and queens, welcome back to another video. Today in this video I'll be talking to you guys about why I started YouTube. And yeah, so my first video I posted me laying in bed, writing in my journal, reading, reflecting, my normal healing journey process. And a voice in my head told me to pick up the camera. I didn't know for what. So I'm like, why? He said, pick up the camera and start recording. I was like, okay, you know what? I picked up the camera, started to record. And that's how it all started. I was dealing with a relationship, I was dealing with other things in my life that I experienced. Growing up in a family, I didn't feel loved. Growing up in a family, I didn't feel loved by my own mom. Growing up in a family, I wasn't comfortable enough to go talk to my family about certain things. Growing up in a family, I always felt like the outcast. Growing up in a family, I was in the family, but I felt like I wasn't in the family. And I've endured trauma that I didn't even know I was carrying. So as time went on, me and my mom, we didn't have the best relationship. She passed away July 7th. Our relationship was really tough. Really didn't feel loved from my mom because, at times I would talk to her, she would yell at me. I didn't get any hugs from my mom, no kisses like on her forehead. I see her buy other people things and not me. And, I just felt like, things was just going on in my mind where, I thought that we was going to have this mother-daughter connection, and it just didn't happen. When I graduated high school, she wasn't there. And we were just always arguing and fighting. And one point I just got my stuff and I left this college, I was just at that point where, I had enough and I wanted to move on with my life. I really do love my mom, and, I appreciate everything she have done for me, but at times I didn't feel the love like other kids used to get from their mom. I felt some type of way about that. And yeah, so that's all I want to tell you guys. I really hope my story really opened you guys' eyes and know a little bit more about me. And to other women out there, whoever gone through the same thing I've gone through or similar to what I've gone through, I really appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching this, because, it opens people's eyes to, making sure that they're not alone. And at times I have felt like I was alone. And when she got sick, I really, really didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. And it really hurts me that she had passed. You wanna know why? I wanted to have that conversation that I never get to have with my mom. I wanted to talk to her, try to fix our relationship, and I wasn't able to do that. And when she passed, I was still in school. I was coming back and forth from college. And in college, I had a breakdown. I had suicidal thoughts. I wanted to end my life. This is really deep, and I wasn't able to finish college. I wasn't able to finish college. I went to the psych ward to get help because I really needed help at that time. I was in a dark place, and everything was just black. Everything was just black, and I don't know, I just started to play gospel music. Gospel music was the thing that saved me from ending my life. And I think I was in a dark place. I'm figuring out now why I was in a dark place. I was in a dark place because my mom was sick. My mom was sick, and I was always with her, took her to appointments and everything, and she passed. And our relationship was good and bad, but the only thing I could have seen was the bad, and I wanted to fix our relationship so bad, and it's just, I couldn't. And then after that, I went back to my family, and it was a lot going on, and I didn't understand why my family didn't understand the way I grieve. I'm not sure if they did or did not, but I was really going through a lot, and I wanted my family to be there for me. I just didn't feel like that they was, and it was something that I had to figure out on my own. So I was in and out of the hospital and the psych wards, I was battling something that I didn't want to battle with, and God gave me this for some reason. He gave his toughest soldiers the strongest battles, and I was that one. And as time went on, I met a man. He came into my life, and things started to change. He was there for me emotionally, and he was a good man to me. So I pursued with that relationship, even though I was still in a vulnerability state, and yeah, so after that, my biological sister reached out to me on Facebook. She was like, "Oh, you my sister?" I said, "What you mean? I don't know you." So once she let me know who was my mom, who was my real mom, because as a little girl I was growing up questioning if I was adopted or not, and she was like, "Oh, I'm your sister." I'm like, "Oh wow, so I am adopted." And that was the thing that was bothering me growing up. I was hearing I was adopted. I didn't know. I didn't want to feel like I was adopted, but that was always the question. So I met my mom, my biological mom, and she was beautiful and everything. We started talking, but she wanted to come into my life like nothing happened. Nothing happened. And at the time, I had nowhere to go. At that time, me and my boyfriend, we wasn't cool like that. So I had no choice but to go stay with my biological mom. And that experience was really, really horrible. Everything was moving too fast, and I was like, slow down, man. But at the end of the day, my feelings was important. I was healing from my mom passing away, feeling like my family wasn't there at all. And now, boom, my biological mom pops up. So I stood with her for a little bit, you know, try to, you know, talk about our relationship, like what happened, and it didn't get to that point, you know. I was always the one looking for love, especially from my mom, you know, and I just didn't receive that. I didn't receive that from my adopted mom, and I didn't receive that from my biological mom. So after that, you know, I was back with my boyfriend, and you know, he watches the news and he seen affordable housing. So I got on that, I applied, and boom, next month later, I got my own place. And that was a big stepping stone for me, because I was tired of going to this house, to going to this house, you know. So actually getting my own really meant a lot. It showed my growth, my independence, and a lot more, you know. And I battled with college because, you know, I wanted to graduate, but at the time I wasn't able to, you know, and life just happened. You know, I always beat myself up about that, and I'm like, Chanel, you don't have control of that. You know, your health comes first, and I got help. Unfortunately, I, you know, started to talk back to my mom, you know, but it still didn't work out. It still didn't work out, you know. And yeah, so I'm putting this story out because I know young women, they've gone through this. I'm not here just to get views, likes. No, you know, I want somebody to connect with. I want somebody to connect with me, because I know that somebody's out there. You know, that right now I'm in a happy state, you know, working, you know, paying my bills and everything, in a relationship still. Yeah, so this was a reason why I started YouTube. You know, I feel like it's therapeutic, and, you know, it would be fun to make videos, edit, and yeah. So this is really why I started YouTube. It came from me laying on my bed, reading, writing in my journal, and boom, here I am. You know, I'm really glad of the woman I'm becoming, and I believe in God, that He really brought me from a long way, and you know, I forgive everybody that hurt me. You know, I will always love my mom, you know, my adopted mom. I really love her so much, you know. I just wish our relationship would have been different, you know. Yeah, I just love her so much. Sorry guys, I just get emotional talking about my mom, because I just wanted that love, that connection, and I just never got it. And I wasn't always the best kid, you know. I made mistakes as a kid, but I don't know, I just wish things was different. Now things is different because I'm a grown woman. And yes, so guys, this is the ending of the video. I love you guys so much. And I thank you for watching me and supporting me. And it's gonna always go up from here, you know. Always believe in yourself, love yourself. Remember who you are, you know. And yeah. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And I love you guys. We out.